Hey there, I want to talk about Twinkling Watermelon. This has been a massive K-drama that has been trending for several weeks now. It's still airing. I have watched up to 10 episodes and I want to talk to you about it. Let's go. Hi, I'm Monique. I am the host of Off by Purple Heart podcast, where I talk to you about K-dramas, C-dramas, BTS, and anything else I want to talk about. In today's episode, as I said, I want to talk about Twinkling Watermelon, and it's going to be a massive cult classic. I feel like it has the same energy as when 2521 was airing, which to me is a bittersweet K-drama that haunts me to this day, mainly because it was so beautiful, it had phenomenal chemistry, some of the most gorgeous acting I've seen, yet the ending was so deeply unsatisfying, even though the ending was very much foreshadowed in the first episode. It's probably one of the biggest disappointments I've ever had in a K-drama and K-drama history. I don't think Twinkling Watermelon will have the same fate, but it just reminds me of the earlier feels. Even though I think 2521 is like on a different threshold, I still think Twinkling Watermelon is really good. I did talk about Twinkling Watermelon previously in my wrap-up podcast episode, where I just talked about all the K-dramas I had completed or am currently watching, and that will be airing in the future. So basically from the period of late September, October, going into November, which we are in right now, at least at the time of me recording this. So I talked about that the first couple episodes were kind of confusing to me because I didn't read the synopsis, so I didn't realize there would be like a time traveling element to the show. So in the first episodes, we're basically in flashback. We see the main lead character while he's a lot younger, I think about the age of 12, and he's the only hearing member of his family. He has a brother that's a little younger that is deaf, along with his two parents. And we just kind of see how they navigate through the world with their disabilities, and we also do see a lot of sign language, which I do appreciate as a part of the show. We see that he has a lot of expectations and pressures put on him to succeed, and especially succeed in essentially being interpreter for the family and keeping the family together. There's a lot of familial pressure, especially from the father onto the son. Because of the disability that the father has, he feels that he can live by extension through his son that is hearing, and that he does not want him to stray from the path of becoming a physician, which is what his son is studying for. And you can see the cracks in this dynamic early on, that despite the level of responsibility and a lot of the adultification of this main lead character, that he's crackling under pressure. As much as he adores his family, he loves his brother, is by his brother's side a lot, clearly loves his mom and dad, and I think that both parents mean well, but earlier on it is suffocating to even watch him just kind of have to be that adult and not really get to enjoy his childhood and just have so much pressure put on him. And then we are flashback into the past with the father as like an 18-year-old character. We're at this point still not sure that whether this is like a time traveling show or not, but then that answer becomes revealed in later episodes. So what happens is we kind of get shot into present day. The main lead is now a teen. He's in high school. He's still on track to being a physician, and unfortunately a major incident happens, and there's a major fight between him and his father, because he ends up finding out that he's been slowly being distracted by music. He is a phenomenal guitarist, and he learned the guitar. We learned through flashbacks of the show that there was a music shop owner who also plays the guitar really well, that he befriends when he's really young. And he kind of teaches him the ropes, teaches him about the classics, and through their unlikely friendship, he learns how to play the guitar, and he kind of keeps that as like a double life and a secret. And he continues with his passion of music, and you definitely see as he has matured into this teenager that he doesn't want to be a physician. He genuinely loves and appreciates music, but knows that he's going to have come to a difficult choice because his parents will not allow him. Because again, all the pressures of him having to succeed, not just because of regular dynamics with like immigrant families in general, which I know is like a whole other discourse, but because of the disabilities that the family has, there's like this extra pressure on him as the only hearing member of the family. And everything really comes to a head, and he has like a massive blow up with his father when he realizes that he kind of skipped school to go join up with this band to make it big that could potentially end up getting a record deal. So they have this major blow up, and the son is kind of reeling from it, and he ends up stumbling into this really weird magic shop and ends up time traveling to the past to come face to face with his dad, who's 18 years old. So all the flashbacks that we're seeing of his dad, we kind of, as the audience and the main lead, get shoved right back into that, and he's facing his dad at the same age as he is, and he comes to the realization that his father was not always deaf. Because we're led to believe in the show that the family were all born without being able to hear, but the father actually was, which is another mystery element. So we learned that through this time travel, there is a mission that the main lead has to complete. He's not given a lot of instruction. He's kind of like stumbling around, making a mess of things. And that's when the show kind of picks up and it gets kind of interesting and dicey. I am up to episode 10, and there is a lot that I'm leaving out. There's a few adult characters that will play a much larger significance as the show goes on. And it's going to be kind of hard for me to explain it without giving a lot away. So there is mild spoilers in this, of course. But at episode 10, a central character's daughter travels into the past to meet up with the main lead. And she is going to create a lot of disruption. And I think this is where like the main love storyline is going to come to play. Two of the major storylines, two of the major love romances that we're watching simultaneously is the main lead's father and mother when they're teenagers come together and fall in love. This is when the father is still able to hear. And the second, which is the main lead and this mysterious character who's the daughter of a central adult character, has traveled back into the past to join him, and all sorts of hijinks kind of ensue from there. I will say Twinkling Watermelon definitely hits the nostalgia button. I think the acting is great. I think the main lead is a great choice, and he's the kind of actor that he can express very micro moments with just like a certain movement pattern of his eyes. He's a convincing crier on screen well, and you can see just the level of frustration and anger in him, like even in the earlier scenes when it just deals with him and the societal pressures that he has, and just having to meet the expectations of his parents. It becomes really apparent just how much he is a people pleaser to the detriment of his character. And I feel like this actor does a really phenomenal job in straddling the line of being able to do comedic timing really well. He plays off the younger castmates really well, but he also brings this level of gravity to the role that I'm really enjoying. I can see why this show is trending a lot. I do find sometimes the pacing of certain episodes to kind of take me in and take me out. I'm just at episode 10 now, and I'm still invested in the journey of the show because I'm really truly wanting to see how they wrap this up and tie it all together to meet back in present day. Whenever you're dealing with like a time traveling element, I always think of like the butterfly effect, where a future character can only do so much disruption because you can change the course of your entire history to the point that the future you will no longer exist, because whatever you've done in the past will have a ripple effect. So I'm kind of curious as how the show is going to resolve everything nicely without having any major plot holes, and that we come away with like the main central storyline kind of thing. But I do think the acting is really good. I think I'm more invested in the romance between the younger version of his father and mother versus the romance between the main lead and the mysterious daughter that has traveled into the past. I am leaving out a lot of details as far as the storyline is. So if you haven't watched Twinkling Watermelon yet, you should, and then you'll get a better understanding of what I'm saying. And it does come across a little convoluted at times, but it's not that hard to follow the storyline. I feel like I was only confused in the first couple episodes because I didn't read the synopsis and didn't realize there was a time traveling element into it. And I think the show kind of did a good job in kind of surprising you, and then you're just like, oh, okay. And then going on from there. But this is a show that I'm generally wait and see, but it's definitely one of the better K-dramas that are out right now. There's a lot to go by. I am watching Strong Woman, is it Nam Soon? Right now, and that show I'm still up in the air about. I was talking about that in my wrap-up episode, and I don't know about that show. I was basically watching it for the villain, and I don't know if I'm really into it still. I'm kind of falling off from that. And A Good Day to Be a Dog is wonderful still. I did a podcast episode about that as well, and I was really enjoying it, but I'm having issue with the way that the airing schedule is. There's like these 2-week gaps between episodes, which I really feel is going to kill the momentum of the show. So I'll stay tuned. If I'm still watching it and I'm still enjoying it, I most likely will do a wrap-up episode just talking about it and others. But you stay tuned to the podcast, and I most likely will be talking more about Twinkling Watermelon, Good Day to Be a Dog, other K-dramas are coming out, and definitely later this month in November, one of my most highly anticipated, My Demon, is coming out, and you better believe a Song Kang drama, I'm going to be talking about it. So until then, I hope you stay tuned, and we'll enjoy these next shows together. So that's it for me for this podcast. I really hope that you share if you are listening via Spotify. If you're watching this podcast via YouTube, please share as well with anyone that loves K-dramas, C-dramas, BTS, all that good stuff. And until the next episode, bye!